Hello and welcome to episode 41 of Fergo and the Freak. I'm that bloke from Rugby League Project, Andrew Ferguson. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewRLP. And joining me is the esteemed League Freak, who you can find on Twitter at League Freak. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. I'm really, really good. I just got a new job and we're going to talk about it today. It's going to be fantastic.
You have got a new job.
Yeah.
How long you'll stay in it for, we're not too sure, but today we're going to hear all about your manifest.
Excellent. That's
Because
fantastic.
League Freak's just been appointed the new. I'll start with boss of Rugby
Yeah.
League in Australia, but you will tell me now what your actual official title is.
Well, as I said before, I don't know whether I should be called the great leader or Caesar. I was thinking about what Genghis Khan called himself, but he called himself the flail of God. I feel like that would be a little bit, over the top these days. So I'm just going to go for now with CEO. We'll run with that for now, just so that we don't confuse people, I think.
Okay. I was going to say Genghis Khan might have also been just well known as Daddy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Alrighty, so let's get into this. Let's have a look at. Mate, you've got a lot on your plate.
I
So
got I wrote down this list in the space of about 30 seconds.
yeah,
So
as we said at the start there, we're not too sure how well received you'll be in this role, so you've got to work fast.
yeah, and the important thing is that I think that you've got to be a dictator in this role. I really do. I don't think you can't be like, the politician type. You can't be asking for advice. I would run things my way, and anybody that didn't like that, I'd sack them or I'd fine them, or I wouldn't talk to them. And so basically, that's the way I would run things, and we'd see how we go. But you listen to my list, right? And I'll talk through it, and you tell me if rugby league wouldn't be in a better position than it is today if I was running it, all right?
All right.
Okay, so the very first thing I do, Perth gets an expansion club straight away. Just like it comes into existence tomorrow, but they kick off not next season, but the season after. So it gives them time to recruit, gives them time to, get everything they need in place. That would be the very first thing that I did. We'd have a Perth expansion club. I'd let them work out the name and all that sort of stuff. I'd even give them 15 million bucks for the first 5 years of their existence, in terms of the NRL grant, just to get on their feet. So that's the very first thing I do. How does that sound?
So Percy in 2021.
Yep,
Okay.
excellent.
So I'll then ask just before anyone else jumps in.
Hmm.
Not that anyone will, because it's just you and me.
Yep,
You'll then have an odd number of teams.
I will. But
So
but but
yeah.
Brisbane second team, they start same year, even competition again. How about
Where,
that?
where will they be based?
They
Like
will be
South.
based, yeah, southwest of Brisbane. I'm
Okay.
gonna I'm gonna give 3 months for any Queensland Rugby League clubs that want to apply for that license. Time to apply for it. It's quick, I know that, but I'm trying to get rid of the ones that need to scramble to put together things. I want the ones that can turn up in my office and say, "Listen, it's us." Now, I'm not going to pick a club. I'm not going to say, "Oh, I think it'll be this team or that team." It might be a private consortium. I don't know. But yeah, second Brisbane team. They'll both come in at the same time. And I'll give them 15 million bucks as well because they can.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
All right, so we've got an 18-team competition in 2021.
we sure do. Now, the next thing I do is just to put the cat amongst the pigeons, right?
As you do.
Yeah, I'm going into the private schools. We're going into the private schools. I'm having meetings with the people that run these places because I'm getting rugby league into the private schools. And you know how I'm doing it? I'm doing it through Women's Rugby League. They should not be able to stop the young girls from playing rugby league because that is sexist. So I'm taking Women's Rugby League into the private schools, therefore opening the door for all rugby league to be played in private schools. How about that?
I like it.
Yeah, it needs to be done. I'm doing it, and it should have been done years ago. I'm making it one of my goals, and it's not going to change too much, but I'm kicking down that last door. I'm kicking it in. And, the one thing that these sorts of people like more than to be able to feel like they're exclusive is to feel like that they're part of something big and special and that they're getting all of this media attention for doing great stuff. And so there'd be lots of photo opportunities and things like that. And then rugby league would be in these private schools. It'd be fantastic.
I'd be interested to see your negotiation tactics in that area.
Well, basically, the way that I would look at it is I would say, what would Jesus want? We're all under the same God, and that God is money. And,
okay.
Maybe they need some new facilities. I don't know. Maybe they want to become a hotbed for rugby league talent and have the best players coming to their schools. I'm just saying. It's just a guess.
Well,
It'd
was
be interesting
Jesus...
if the NRL offered scholarships to their schools, hey?
Well, that's true. I was going to say, was Jesus a league man?
Of course he was. He was a man of the people.
Man of the people?
Jesus was a leaguey for sure.
At least I often wonder what position he played on the field. I know a lot of people would automatically think halfback, but...
That's a good question.
I'd have him down as a Kalen Ponga type fullback.
There.
Just directing the men in front of him.
And, the 12 in front of him. Wow, you nailed it. He'd be really good in wet weather too. So, my next thing is the NRL CEO. I'm taking over the New Zealand Rugby League. I'm taking it all over. I'm running it. We're absorbing it within us. They will be in a similar position to, say, the New South Wales Rugby League. You'll have a little office still. Yeah, you'll have your titles and stuff like that, but we're running shit now. And I would actually be in a position to fund Rugby League in New Zealand and do some things that the New Zealand Rugby League should have been doing for, 100 and something years. We would do that. We would fund it. We would make sure that they still had a certain amount of autonomy, but we'd always be looking over their shoulder and we'd be funding everything and running it. So it's not a complete takeover, but as long as everyone in the New Zealand Rugby League just shuts up and lets us get on with our job, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, they do as they're told.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm their boss, but
at the same time you are.
Yeah, I am the one that pays their salaries from now on and decides who gets the jobs. That's all I'm saying.
And if they're doing things the right way, which is obviously your way.
Yeah, it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
So that's how that's going to work. But I'm not their boss.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, rule change. 7 tackle rule gone.
Yeah.
That's just gone tomorrow. There's no 7 tackle rule. You want to kick that ball over the dead ball line as hard as you can, do it by all means, because the team that gets the ball from that, they get no advantages. We allow 6 tackles in this game, and that's how it's going to be until the day I die, which, people can wait 8 months or so. That'll be good. So what do you reckon about that rule change, by the way?
Yeah, to me, I think that was it's an obvious rule change that needs to be made. So I'm very happy with that one. I was gonna throw in a different one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be my advisor, you know that.
I'm going to be your advisor?
Yeah, highly paid too. I mean, we're on the big bucks here. Come on now.
All right. I've used this one before, and that was I'll change it. Okay, you take the penalty tap whenever you want, wherever you want, as long as it's on the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
doesn't matter if you're, and I'll also say, it doesn't matter if your teammates are offside, but you cannot include them until they're back onside.
See, I need the players to be onside. I need some sort of. I was actually thinking about this last night. I need them to be onside.
Yeah, what I'm saying is they can be offside. They cannot interfere in the play. They cannot be involved in any play. So you are actually requiring them to get onside if you want to have any advantage out of it. Otherwise, you're playing with less men than the defence has.
Mm-hmm.
So players aren't going to stand up the other end of the field and just hope for something glorious to happen. They're going to get their asses back onside if they're going to be a chance of, getting any value out of that quick tap that they can take.
This is where I invoke my hands in the air rule. The hands in the air, you're out of the play. It's a sign you're out of the play. I can't get the ball.
You're
hands
invisible?
in the air. Yep, you become invisible. You don't exist when your hands are in the air.
So if someone then tries to interact with an invisible player with hands in the air,
yep.
Could we then invoke a 20-minute sin bin for that player for being absolutely stupid for running in or interfering with someone who's actually invisible? How dumb could you be?
So say an attacking player throws the ball to the invisible man and it hits him in the chest and his hand's in the air.
Yeah. That's just
10.
stupid.
Yeah, 10. You go for 10.
I was going to say 20 because it's just dumb. You shouldn't be allowing dumb play on the footy ground.
Yeah, but then how would we allow teams like Parramatta to play every week? You got to realise.
I think you're starting to get to what I'm pointing at towards here.
I see what you mean. This is just part of your whole plan against Parramatta, which is this whole podcast, basically.
There may be an agenda. There may be an agenda. I won't forget their bid to try and take over Balmain in the late 90s.
Yeah.
So this would just render them pretty much with a more wooden spoons than I suppose they
already have.
I suppose than what's actually in existence. We'll have to try and change it to, I don't know, dirt spoons or something because dirt's a lot easier to get.
We can do that on the Boss. What we'll do is we will get a dirt spoon made up and I'm sure they can compact one together and then spray it with some sort of, I don't know, plastic shit that'll keep it all together.
And case it together in plastic.
Yeah, pretty much.
That'll work. That way we're saving the environment too because we're not chopping down trees anymore for Parramatta's benefit.
Oh, I didn't even think about the environment. I think I need something in here to raise the carbon monoxide levels that Rugby League produces because I want to leave behind the greatest carbon footprint in history.
You've brought in a Perth team, so that's going to help.
Yeah, that will help. That's a good point. Yeah. And yeah.
All right, what's next on the League Freak agenda?
Okay, 3 rep rounds. We're doing 3 rep rounds, exactly like it was last weekend. We're having test matches. We're having not 3 women's origin games because apparently the female players take a little longer to back up from games, which is fine. That's fair enough. So we might have to, play with that bit a little bit. But, test matches leading into Sunday night State of Origin. And my Sunday night State of Origin is kicking off at 7:30 on the dot every single Sunday. I'm not changing that for Channel 9. If they don't like it, I will go to Channel 7.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Can I make a suggestion to add to that sort of schedule?
Of course you can.
Okay. End of year kangaroo tours every 4 years like we used to have.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I'm pushing for the 3U World Cup, but then all of a sudden I've got to deal with other nations and stuff like that. I feel like I'm probably not the best negotiator in terms of certain nations, most of them called England. But I guess I am running Rugby League in Australia, so 3U World Cups. We're doing that from now on.
To be honest, you've already taken over New Zealand Rugby League.
Yeah, so they get my vote if they know it's good for them.
That's right.
So yeah, between myself and the New Zealand Rugby League, and all of a sudden, all of the Tonga and Samoa and Fiji and PNG and the Cook Islands and all these nations, they're playing regular test matches during the year thanks to me. So I know which way they're going to vote. So yeah, I think that I'll have definitely enough political clout to do whatever I want. So we're having World Cups every 3 years. So that'll be good. So yeah, and then we can bring in if you go back to the international podcast that we did, it was the very first podcast we did. You can hear what I would do to international football because I'd put it on a 3-year schedule and that's all covered in that podcast. So go back and listen to podcast number 1.
Sounds good. And in years where, because it will happen, where there's a kangaroo tour scheduled to be in the same year as the World Cup, we'll just have the World Cup and the kangaroo can be the year
Brushed.
after, I guess. Or
Yeah.
brushed, or have it the year after.
Yeah.
And every, in the second year between each kangaroo tour, you can have Great Britain do a tour of the world
Well,
because they started rugby league, so they can help promote it around the world as much as Australia does.
wait a minute. Great Britain is able to play outside of Great Britain?
Yes,
Are you sure?
that's what I suggest. We should have
Wow.
the two prominent teams one in the Northern Hemisphere and one in the Southern Hemisphere, pushing the game everywhere.
The last time Great Britain did a tour of anywhere else, it's like the 92, I think it was, something like
They
that.
had a 92 tour that came to Australia. I'm pretty sure it was the last time they did a full Australian tour.
Mm-hmm. Just saying. Okay, next thing on my agenda. All right, this is a pretty good one. Fiji, straight to the Canterbury Cup. They get a Fijian Canterbury Cup team. Now, Tonga and Samoa, they also get teams, but they can choose if they want to be in the Canterbury Cup or the Queensland Cup. So all of these nations now have direct access to the rugby league pyramid that we have built. They're going to be able to, and these teams, they're not based in Australia, they're based in these nations. And part of the funding agreement for the travel will be mixed in with funding agreement for the National Rugby League as well. So we're bringing them straight into either the New South Wales Cup or the Queensland Cup, depending on which ones they want to be in. Fiji is aiming for the Canterbury Cup, and they're going to be coming in soon enough. But Tonga and Samoa, they can pick where they want to be, and I will back them 100%.
Will there be an outlook into possible future NRL expansion for those areas?
100%.
Love
That's what I'm aiming for. I want to give them the slow build up though. I want them to be able to build up slowly and get all the sponsorship and just get seasoned before that does happen.
Like it very much.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Would you then have to change the NRL to just like GRL, Global Rugby League?
I would be looking at, I would probably...
URL, Universal Rugby League.
Yeah.
That's good for SEO.
That's a good thing. Yeah. You know what I would probably do? I would copyright a lot of different names, which I'm not even going to say on here, so that rugby union can try and think of whatever they are themselves. But needless to say, those names would be universal across the world, and there would be no doubt about which was the biggest and best rugby competition on planet Earth. So I would do that, yes.
Brilliant.
Okay, next move. The Roosters are going to Adelaide. I don't care what Nick says. Roosters, Adelaide, full-time, holus bolus, all done.
Perhaps if you could set up a car dealership in Adelaide,
A Ford dealership.
You'd probably find there'd be next to no kickback from Nick.
That would be good, yeah. Yep, they're going to Adelaide, and that's it. That's. I'm not even negotiating that. Nick, they're going, and you're going with them.
I've got a question though.
Yeah, go on.
Who would take over the junior catchment area?
Oh shit! Well, the best thing about this move is that then South Sydney can move into the new stadium that's going to be where the SFS was, and it's their home, and they just get it all. I'm giving everything to South Sydney, and the Roosters Adelaide bound. What do you reckon about that one?
So will they still be the Sydney Roosters in Adelaide, or are we just going to call them Roosters like the Warriors are called Warriors? Or
it's a good question. That's up to them. They can do whatever they want. Yeah.
Would South Sydney then have to change their name to Sydney? Ooh.
Sydney Rabbitohs. Ooh, man.
Wouldn't that go down well in the rivalry? Add that to the book of feuds.
Yeah, that would be huge. I wonder, because South Sydney's an iconic name. I wonder if they'd be up for changing that. I don't think they would, hey? Man, I don't know. I'd talk to Rusty about it.
Maybe. Maybe bring back Balmain and they could take over that entire region.
You're fired. Get the fuck out. Get out of my office. Security. Security. I knew you'd bring that up. What if? Okay, let me try and work something out here. Okay. I mean, you've got the Tigers. See, that's the problem. The Tigers' name is gone. I can't even bring back the Tigers for you.
Well, you could if you tried.
Well, yeah. I guess I could do anything I wanted to. I don't know. See, I've got some stuff here with the Tigers. I've got coming up. So
look, I've got an idea. Okay, which would I could make it. This is almost negotiation now between you and me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Fold the West Tigers, and bring Balmain back, and that entire Macarthur region can then be part of the Penrith catchment area.
Yeah.
And Balmain can take the that whole North Sydney Balmain region all the way across to where the East are currently located.
Okay, so I've moved the Roosters, right?
Yeah.
For rationalisation.
Yeah.
Then you've got me basically moving the West Tigers back to Leichhardt Oval and calling themselves Balmain.
No, they won't be based at Leichhardt Oval. They'll be using that new stadium. They'll just be called Balmain again.
Their jungle at Parramatta.
Yeah. Our pot plant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
They won't be playing at Bankwest anymore. They won't be playing at the jungle anymore. They'll be playing at the new stadium.
So this runs into the next thing that I would do. So we might as well bring that up. I'm moving the West Tigers to Campbelltown full time.
So common sense. Okay, if I'm serious, that should have been done about 15 years ago.
Yeah. And look, it could be Campbelltown or Liverpool, wherever they want to, base themselves. I prefer Campbelltown because I think that it's going to be a growing area of Sydney, especially with the airport down that way. And it kind of runs into my next thing as well. I'm getting new stadiums for the West Tigers in Campbelltown and the Penrith Panthers in Penrith.
Okay, so how many new stadiums are the West Tigers getting? Is that 7 or 8?
Well, this will be, that's a good question, but they're playing out of this one full time. It's going to be one.
One?
One, I know.
They can't handle that, mate. It needs to be about 6.
I know, that's the thing.
One at Liverpool, one at, say, Camden, one at Campbelltown, one at Lamia, just across the road, because, sometimes Campbelltown might be used.
Look, as in my new role as NRL CEO, I understand there's going to have to be some compromise, okay? As long as all the compromise goes in the direction I want it to go in. That's the main thing.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, so I don't know if it'll be exactly where their current stadium is. It might be, I don't know, just somewhere down there, somewhere that's easy to get to, enough land, they can build it. It's not hard to get through with traffic and everything like that.
You're not going to put a Yass, are you?
Nah. I don't even want Yass to be a Yass, to be honest with you. But I'm going to say to the West's Tigers, I'm going to say, you point on the map where you want this shit, and I will make sure it happens, because I'll grease the wheels up in Parliament. Me and Gladys will pop some of that champagne and stuff, and we'll start handing out some tickets and things like that, and I'll be good at greasing the wheels like that. So yeah, Tigers get their stadium down in Campbelltown, and the Panthers obviously get a brand new stadium, and they're basically just going to be clones of what Parramatta has, with a little bit of different stuff on the outside. So yeah, that's my next thing that I do. What do you reckon about that?
I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, in all seriousness, I like that. That's a good idea. That's something that should have been done ages ago.
I agree. Now, something that runs into that, I'm sitting down with David Gallup and I'm saying, listen, Dave, how's it going? I'm doing better at your job than you did, right? But let's not focus on that.
And you've only been in here for 5 minutes.
But yeah, I'm just warming the chair up at the moment.
I gave you a 15-year head start.
Yeah. I might not be a lawyer, but I do watch a lot of Law and Order, so I'm up to speed with everything and how it works. I'm saying, Dave, you need rectangular stadiums. I need rectangular stadiums. Let's mesh this stuff together. Let's work together. We don't even play in basically the same season. You play in summer, We play in winter. There's a little bit of crossover, but I don't think either of our fan bases are affected by each other. Let's work together and get as many top-notch facilities built as possible. So I'm thinking we go to Perth, we upgrade Perth Stadium for the Perth Rugby League team and the Perth soccer team. Do the same thing in Adelaide. Then we're going up to Darwin, and we're putting a plan to the Darwin government. They've got no money, but, it's never stopped the government before. And we're having an indoor rectangular stadium. We need one built up there. So that's my plan. I'm working with soccer hand in hand for facilities everywhere, and even in the lower grades.
Wouldn't they be leaning on us to do most of the heavy lifting financially there? So would it be possible to go to FIFA instead of David Gallop and just say, we expect these stadiums are going to cost probably, let's say $500 million, even though they won't, so that any money that's left over after FIFA's pays, we can just put it in our coffers?
Look, I could fly the NRL's new private jet into Monaco, stay on behalf of the NRL there for a month or so, and then head to wherever FIFA is based. I'm guessing it's in France somewhere, and obviously in one of the slummy parts of France because, it's not like FIFA would have it in a really expensive part of France. But I don't want to deal with their corrupt administrators that just soak money out of the game for their own means. So I don't think I'd deal with them. I think I'd just go straight to Dave. And
I was thinking of playing them at their own game. But because they've got so much more money, it'd be a drop in the ocean for them. I mean, just say, you know what, if you give us these 10 stadiums and $5 billion to build them, you can have a World Cup here.
Yeah, but they don't want to have a World Cup here. They're not given money for World Cups. They're taking money for World Cups. Did you say we're going to have a World Cup bid with Indonesia?
This is the thing, though. We could actually, because we're overcharging them for the stadiums, we could then use the money that we've overcharged them to give them back to them for the bid. So we've actually spent nothing. We've just given them some of their money back.
Isn't that what they do anyway?
That's right.
See,
I don't know why they won't employ me. I'm using all their tactics.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I would start local first, and we'll see where we go from there. I think that you wouldn't even have to go that far. I think that locally, if you had the head of the NRL and the head of soccer coming in and saying, listen, we're working together, we're pals, we're buddies, we'll give you year-round usage of these facilities, we'll work together with you, you'll get all the free tickets we know that you pricks like. All of the governments around Australia would be out in front of us and understand that if they don't do what we say, we'll go on a massive campaign to try and get them kicked out of office.
Would you link up and ask Rugby Union to do the same thing?
Well, here's the thing, Andrew. I've got some plans. We'll get to them, all right? We'll get to them.
Okay.
So the next thing I do, I restructure Women's Rugby League. I let them have their own teams with their own team names. I make the club scene a bit bigger. I expand it to 8 teams. I've got a couple of them in New Zealand. The rest of them are in Australia. We got a team in Melbourne. We got how many teams? We're going to have 4 teams in Sydney, I've decided. We got a team in Brisbane. What do you reckon about that?
That's good.
Yeah. And that's just the start. I mean, eventually I want a national women's competition, but that's where we're starting at right now. They get their own team names. I'm going to fund it all. I'm just going to fund it. Anyone that doesn't like it, I don't care. I'm funding it all. And I'm going to have a women's WNRL CEO. It's all going to be female officials, for female everything. It's all women. They want the sport. They get to run it.
So, have you got any people who you'd probably put forward to be the women's NRL CEO?
No,
because I've got 2 candidates.
Oh, really? Go for it.
There's Nadine Chilvers.
Yes.
And Arabella Zacchetto.
Are you suggesting jobs for the girls?
No, but okay. Yeah, all right.
Yes, okay, let's do it. Nadine and Arabella, they're now running the Women's Rugby League in Australia. I like that. Got to get one of my followers in there, Anna. She's got to do some running of it as well.
Yeah.
She might be the CEO. So yeah,
She can do
the women.
accounts. You
What?
need someone to do accounts. They're going to be
Exactly.
making tons of money.
Basically, I make women's rugby league women's rugby league. I give them the money, they go, they run it, it's theirs. They don't have to even answer to me. That's how good of a person I am.
Well, they wouldn't need to. I mean, if it's Nadine or Arabella, they're not going to be needing any direction from us or you.
Chances are they're my boss soon enough.
That's right.
Okay, now, rugby union's not doing good in Australia. I don't know if you haven't noticed this. It's doing pretty poorly.
Mm. What
Some,
are your plans here? A merger?
I'm just going to call up Raylene. I'm going to say, listen, Raylene, I know you probably, only got 5 minutes to talk to me because you're in a room with a bunch of lawyers right now having to deal with other stuff. But what do you reckon we start working on some sort of plan where maybe I fold your entire organisation into mine and I come up with some idea where the National Rugby League funds all of rugby competitions across Australia. I still allow the ARU to have some sort of independence, but I'm the boss and I run everything and I fund everything. You're allowed to still have the Wallabies. I'm not going to start degrading anything you've got going right now. I'm just saying, we could fund everything you want to do right now. And if we do it as one organisation, my organisation, wouldn't we all be better off for that? What do you think about this, Andrew?
I'm loving where this is going.
I'm just saying, I think that rugby union needs a bit of a hand, and I'm willing to give them that hand and run it and be the boss and control everything and have all of rugby union in Australia under my foot. What do you reckon about that?
Would this mean that rugby union would then be a feeder competition to rugby league?
No, I wouldn't do that. Come on now. Come on. It does have a place in Australian sport, just behind korfball.
As an interviewer, it's my responsibility to ask these questions.
Okay.
That was all.
Okay. Yeah, no, it
would there be any plan to downsize rugby union in the future?
No, I would just let it go on its current, its current pathway. Just saying. Just keep doing what they're doing. Seems to be working.
If a rugby union team, say like the Waratahs, started to struggle, would you then have some elite rugby league players go along and help them out to make them successful and financially viable?
No.
Okay.
In fact, in the name the Waratahs, let's just call them the New South Wales Rugby Union team from now on. They don't need names.
You could call them the Blues.
No. I would hate to have to sue them. They're like their jerseys.
Well, the Greens then. Call them Greens.
Well,
New South Wales Greens.
That's fair enough. I mean, it would be different. It would be a little bit different. But yeah, I would take over rugby union in Australia with their permission, of course, because if they didn't want to do it, I'd have to destroy them financially. So,
See, I was thinking to say that was close to what Queensland had done. Instead of calling themselves Maroons, they call themselves the Reds. Maybe you could call them New South Wales the Cobalts.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah, I like that idea.
So it's near enough, but not quite close enough.
Yeah, pretty much. But I would fund them, and they could either take my offer or prepare for all-out war. And in that sense, it would be like, I wonder if the, Galloping Greens would like to have a team in the New South Wales Cup. I just wonder, with full funding, of course, from the National Rugby League, it put them in a much better position, I would suggest.
Would you also be scope to do a similar sort of deal with the A-League?
Take over the A-League?
Yeah.
Look, it's been tried and failed before where you had A-League clubs partly run by NRL clubs.
Yeah, but these were run by people who weren't you.
Yeah, and I am spectacular. Oh, look, I would let the A-League do their own thing for now. We're sharing facilities and, we've got a friendly structure between us. We don't really affect each other's supporter bases. If anything, I think that people that like rugby league and like soccer don't really feel the need to choose one or the other. So yeah, it's going to be a healthy, happy relationship from now on between soccer and rugby. In fact, it's going to be more than healthy. We're going to be like bros, We're going to take on everyone together.
It'd be a relationship kind of like Fergo and the Freak in the starting block.
Pretty much, yeah. Like
nice.
Differences, but so friendly and such a loving that it's hard to see where one ends and the other one begins.
Yeah, differences where you look at each other and go, that's not a difference. That's just a cute little thing that they've got.
Yeah, just a quirk, really, is the
cute little
only
quirk.
way. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's basically my first day being the CEO of the National Worldwide Rugby League.
That's a pretty good day.
Yeah. Did you like all of my suggestions?
Yeah.
Were there any you didn't like?
No. I'm open to all of those.
Yeah.
I think you've got a lot of great ideas there.
Yeah.
I might see if I can get someone with a different set of ears to come in and ask you a question.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm willing to not listen to anyone that comes in and asks me questions.
All right. Well, give me a sec. I'll go open the door and yell at someone.
Okay, excellent. Let me just finish my spiel here and say that I feel as though everything I've done would set up rugby league going forward. And I like to use terms like going forward because now I'm in the corporate sector running the NRL. I think that there's a lot there that would set up a lot of future expansion beyond Australia as well. So that would be fantastic. So, yeah, I'm very happy with that.
All right. Well, I've got someone here.
Yes.
All right. I may have disrupted her a little bit.
Oh,
yep.
Did you ever?
Well, what were you doing?
I was just listening to the starting block.
Oh, excellent.
What a great podcast that is.
It's really, really good.
The toddler strategies that they had
Brilliant.
with the cinema.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty cool. How you going?
I'm going pretty good. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was all right until I got interrupted. Yeah.
So, did Andrew tell you?
Tell me what?
I'm the new NRL CEO.
Holy shit. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The pay packet's really good. I just gave myself a raise.
Oh, perfect.
So Andrew, what does our guest need to ask me?
What does our guest need to ask me? Oh, you want to speak to Andrew?
I thought Andrew asked.
Oh, yeah.
You got to ask him. He's the boss.
Okay. You're the boss, are you? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, if now that you're the boss,
yes.
I just want to say a few things, actually. As a dedicated rugby league fan for many, many years,
yes,
I think that there should be more meet and greets.
Meet and greets?
Meet and greets with the fans, yeah.
I
literally have lived in Melbourne for the last 10 years.
Yes.
And it's only just now, this year, in 2 weeks' time, with the game against the Storm, the Cronulla Sharks are going to have a meet and greet.
Okay.
And, yeah, I think, geez, after all this time, we're finally getting one. Us fans have been rallying for so long. Mm-hmm. And it's an opportunity to meet the players of the game.
Where's the
all
best
clubs...
place for a meet and greet then? Say in the lead up, say in the lead up 3 days out from the game, where's the best place for say somebody like yourself who's a Sharks fan down in Melbourne? Where is the best place for you to go and meet the Sharks?
Oh, look, where? I mean, in this situation, they're meeting at a hotel very close to Amy Park, actually. It's a hotel. But if I had my way, I'd probably have it right at the actual ground. Get the fans pumped in before they go. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
in this situation, it's going to be at a hotel. It's a few hours before the game. Probably might have been better maybe a day or two before it, but in this situation, I think they're just pumped with time. I think because the guys are flying in, let's get them to meet the fans now. But yeah, I think maybe a day or two before it, maybe even after it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea, actually. I'll definitely put that in place. That's fantastic. Yeah. I'm always up for promoting the game and making people feel like that they are part of the game.
Oh, hugs all round.
Yeah, it's fantastic. See, I'm a great CEO.
Getting 10 points for me already. Well done.
Yeah, I'm the CEO of the people.
Oh, the CEO of the people. I like it already.
Yeah, see, I mean, I feel as though I'm above the people, obviously, but, I am for the people.
But I still have a list. I have a list of all things.
Yeah, what else?
I can get one more in if you like. I know you're strapped for time there. Activities for kids. I mean, it's like the guys from the starting block. They want to take their kids to the cinema. What about going to the games? Kids literally are part of the culture of the game. We're starting the future for them. At Shark Park, for example, I have to use them as an example because I love my sharks. They've got activities there, not just on TV you see the jumping castle in the family hill, but they've got like face painting activities for kids. I'm pretty sure they've got ball activities, just activities for parents that want to bring their kids in for the game. I think that should be at every venue. I know it's a little bit difficult with space, but you as CEO, you'd probably have some ideas there.
Well, as the CEO, and I just come up with this myself, I believe the children are our future.
You sound like Michael Jackson.
Well and let them lead the way.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I think that I would have any kid under the age of 5 gets in for free. That's the first thing.
That's already happening, actually, because I'm going to the game with my daughter, the one that told you her thoughts on Eden Park the other day.
Yes. She thought it was good.
Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Tickets are still free for kids under the age of 5, and I think that's great. Like, as long as they sit, like I emailed the stadium at Amy Park just to make sure that I wasn't going to go in and be there with a nasty surprise because I wasn't sure. And they said as long as your child sits on your lap and not occupy a seat, then they're free. So,
That's pretty good. I would give them a seat though. I think it.
I was just about to say I'd prefer it if you give us seats, especially for places like the Gold Coast Titans venues where they really need to make up seats.
Exactly. I mean, like children under 5, I'm pretty sure they're still classed as humans. So,
I think so.
Give them a seat. Yeah. What the hell?
I agree. Right. I agree. Yeah.
I would also I would have at the concession stands, I would have little kids' earmuffs that you can put on their ears so the crowd doesn't scare them if it gets too loud. And I would sell them for like $5 or something, really cheap.
That's a great idea, especially the profanity that I've heard at some of the games, especially the ones down here. I think, I would be up for that. That would be a great idea to fork out the extra bickies for something like that. And
Any other things you'd like to bring forth into the game?
I'm pretty sure you guys have already discussed that on your podcast already, but they're the two main ones that I can think of.
Okay, because one of the things I'm doing, I'm Women's Rugby League run by women. It's all women. It's just women everywhere. I don't want any men being employed by the WNRL. I give them the money and I walk away, like you do in any relationship, really. It's like they control the money.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, look, that would be great. That would be really good to have that focus on women, especially state of origin and developing women too in the game. Like, I think it's fantastic to see them get a opportunity, have their own shows on the Fox League channel on Foxtel. I definitely agree. I love watching the ladies play rugby league. I even tried to do it myself at one stage, but couldn't get to it. Yeah, I did actually. I was where was I? I live in Melbourne, and the local competition is in one of the not so great suburbs of Melbourne. I won't say where it is, but
go on, say where it is.
Oh, I'm sure. Do you know where Eddie Maguire is from? Do you know where he is? You know where he's from? Does it just sort of mentions it on his Who Wants to Be a Millionaire store? Yeah. He does support Collingwood, but he's actually from Broadmeadows, which I'm sure you've heard of.
Hang on a second. So you think Broadmeadows is shit, do you? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
wow.
Have you been there? Have you stayed overnight there?
Nah. Look, my thoughts on all of Melbourne is that all of Melbourne's shit. So
I'm
just saying.
You do have some dedicated podcast viewers and listeners that are dedicated and are from Melbourne. So
yeah, that's true. But I mean, look, if you think what I say about Melbourne's bad, just you know what I say about England if you hear the podcast enough.
Yeah, I've been to Huddersfield.
Yeah. Well, Huddersfield to me was what the end of the world would feel like. Like if the end of the world had one last train station and you got off there, that's Huddersfield.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
It's like Chernobyl.
Well, I think Chernobyl's probably more lively, quite honestly.
A bit more bright lights, a bit more entertainment.
Exactly.
Oh, dear.
At least you know why there's three-headed people running around in Chernobyl. It's like, Huddersfield, and you're like, what the fuck?
Or two-headed Queenslanders.
Yeah, exactly.
As Paul Gallen said.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I better stop there because I'm actually from Queensland, so I'm not part of that. But
sorry to hear that.
Oh, thanks. Oh, anyway, but I think it'd be great to have a focus on Australian, women's rugby league. I think it'd be great to focus on more money for them, so we can see more games, free to air TV, Foxtel. If you were the CEO, you are the CEO, would you make State of Origin not be on Channel 9 so we won't have to listen to some of that commentary?
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm kicking off Origin at 7:30 on a Sunday because I've got 3 rep rounds. And if Channel 9 doesn't like it, I'm just going to call up Kerry Stokes at Channel 7 and say, hey, Keza, what's up to you, son? And, we'll get it. Yeah. We'll get it. Yeah. Eventually we'll move away from Channel 9. I have to.
Be nice. That'd be nice. Yeah. I just sometimes, there were times where I just wanted to turn it off so I wouldn't have to listen to the commentary and put Roy and HG on or something or just listen to nothing at all and just watch it without listening to the commentary.
Well, you know where they lost me finally is when State of Origin 1 finished, right? And I saw all of the post-game stuff and I'm sitting down and it says Lethal Weapon's coming up. And I like my yearly Lethal Weapon, you know? So I sit down and it's the fucking Lethal Weapon TV show. And
you thought it was the Mel Gibson movie, didn't you?
I was ready. I was ready to see what Martin Riggs and him putting his shoulders in and out and all that stuff.
And the girdle scene.
And exactly. And when the TV show come on, I thought I'm too old for this shit. I'm out. So I was out on Channel 9 completely at that point. Well, that was Channel the final straw.
No Logie nomination for Channel 9.
Exactly. The Logies, that's it for them. Their coverage is terrible as far as I'm concerned, and it has nothing to do with their rugby league coverage. It's all to do with no Lethal Weapon. I was disgusted.
Yeah, I'm every right to be. You expected entertainment and you didn't get it. So
I was going to start a GoFundMe, hey.
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
To get what you want.
Maybe it's not the right time for that.
Well, people are we're donating to silly little causes that we all know about. And I need money for my legal fund.
I'm a millionaire. Please give me more free money. Yeah. Excellent. Well, I like your ideas and I would take all of them forward, definitely.
You like them? Oh, that's great. I'm really happy to hear that because, there's always complaints every time the rugby's on. It's like, what about referees? Have you guys discussed referees in this segment or not?
I got rid of the 7 tackle rule when they kick out over their ball line because I hate that. But other than that, I guess the other thing is I would sack Ashley Klein straight away.
You'd sack Ashley Klein.
Yeah.
He's not very generous for Penrith games, is he? Or
he's just shit.
Shit in general. Okay.
Yeah. And I would sack him. Have you ever seen the movie Freddie Got Fingered?
I know Tom Green's in it, but I have not actually watched it. Is it just as fantastic as Drop Dead Fred?
It's way better. It's
way better than Drop Dead Fred.
It's a think piece. It's very highbrow. But there's a part in it where he takes a cordless phone on a date and he tries to impress a girl by pretending that he's in a business call and he's eating a sandwich and he's pretending that he's on a call to a business that he doesn't have anything to do with, and he tells someone they're fired, and he's spitting out money, he's spitting out food, and he's going, "You're fucking fired! You're fired!" and everyone's watching him in the restaurant. So that's how I would sack Ashley Klein.
Yeah,
so,
you're gone, terminated,
terminated. What you should definitely do is sit down with Andrew and hire the movie Freddie Got Fingered. It's really good.
We're from Blockbuster Video.
Yeah, Blockbuster will have it. I'm sure that it's on whatever streaming services you have there. So, Freddie Got Fingered, I recommend that highly.
Okay, another movie to add to my very high list of movies to watch.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm in the process of watching Chernobyl, the TV series, so I guess the Ashley Klein firing would be a bit like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Right. But yeah, they're the main things. I mean, I was going to ask you about the scrum. Like, are you going to bring back the scrum, like the 80s style scrums, or?
No. I haven't got any plans for the scrum at all. I'm pretty happy with where it's at. They just sort of stand there, hug each other, and just get the ball out of there. Yeah. It's kind of like, we've got to have love in rugby league, and I guess that's a chance for everyone to just have a hug, big group hug.
Aww.
We did talk about in a previous episode replacing the scrums with a game of duck, duck, goose.
Duck, duck, goose.
Yeah. But, I
I'm
don't
surprised
know.
they haven't banned that one from schools. They're banning mobile phones, not duck, duck, goose.
Yeah. It'll be discriminatory against the geese or something eventually. You watch.
The poor goose. The poor goose. Yeah. Well, that's great. So, they're the things that I would bring to the CEO's attention. I think fans of the game, people are losing interest because of things that I've mentioned, are not able to go to games. Yeah.
Do you reckon that as a CEO I'm pretty good at like community consultation?
Well, community consultation is very important. I know that some of the players of the game are trying to create a positive perspective on the game, like Chad Townsend, for example, trying to go behind the scenes of what a game is like and keep a positive image. And I think if there was something like that, like a positive communication to fans of the game, tweets and videos, going out to games and actually meeting the fans yourself and having that community interaction would be nice, rather than just sit in NRL headquarters and just do everything via the internet. And is that something you've discussed as well?
Not really, but it sounds good. I mean, obviously, if I met fans there, it would have to be behind a sheet of thickened glass.
You'll get some very disgruntled fans, especially angry ones down here, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you'd have to have it in a way that maybe I don't know, maybe the meet and greet. Like I mentioned, the meet and greet where the Sharks are actually going to come and meet the fans, and it's for a few hours before the game, and it's an opportunity to have photos and ask questions and get things signed. Like, okay, you as the CEO going to those things, it's an opportunity. I don't know, like maybe in your own time, kind of say I'm going to be here at one of the games, and if people want to ask questions, I don't know. Like,
I'm just glad that the Sharks meet and greets have moved on from when they did that one over in New Zealand. Hey.
Oh yeah, yeah. Was Stacey Jones there?
But one of the things that I just thought of then when you were saying about players and doing stuff, I would sack Matt Lodge immediately.
I would. Yes. I do not condone. I do not appreciate violence in the game. I think it's terrible. I mean, especially with what's happening with Jack de Belin, Matthew Lodge that you just mentioned. I personally think that these terrible players with bad images that are not, showing to be good role models of the game should just get out and do something else. Bugger off. I've had enough of that, because especially down here in Melbourne, like you pick up the local newspapers or go online to see what's happening in your local city, and anytime rugby league's mentioned down here, it's always negative, and it's always about something like those two people. Like, it just annoys me, and they're trying to rubbish it, and just things like that just add more issues to the game, because the AFL seems to think that there's some sort of, war between the two. So, sack those two.
It's interesting that the AFL types have any time to see what's going on in rugby league in between getting meth hits. So,
Sada. Stephen Danks.
Yeah.
But I get rid of the troublemakers of the game. Anyone that's got convictions, just bugger off. Don't need to have that image in the game. Kids are watching the game. Kids are thinking it's all right to hit and do things, and get rid of them.
I agree. Excellent. Well, that's fantastic. I'll do all that.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you so much for your help.
You're very welcome, sir. Yeah. What else can I? Yeah, that's it. That's my list for you today. You've already added a few extra things to it there that any dedicated fan would think about. Family orientation, community.
Orientation. The stuff you added was very, very smart and should be in place already, and it's way, way less controversial than the other stuff that I've already written off and said that I was going to do. Yeah. So it's a good way to just round out the podcast.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I'm on a podcast. I'm so excited. I'm on a podcast. Yeah. Alrighty.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Would you like to talk to someone else now?
I'll say.
He was just listening to the starting block. I think, was he?
Yeah. I'll listen to that over this rubbish any day.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, would love to come and chat another time. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. No worries. I'll see you guys later.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. Well, that's the star of the show, then.
Yeah. Well, look.
I'm sorry to bring the tone back down again.
She come up with some really smart ideas.
I'm not surprised.
Well thought out ideas. We can never have her back on again. It just makes everyone realise what we've done in the first half an hour of this show.
Yeah, we are. She's just put the bar in a place that we've never thought was possible.
Didn't even know that you could actually come up with ideas like that.
We didn't know you could see that high. Well, yeah. Let's still go, man. Here we go. I'm almost wondering whether you're the right person to be CEO of the game now.
I know. Same here. I'm like, all of a sudden, I just don't know if I should really do anything or just, ask her, what do you reckon I should be doing? Because she come up with some great ideas. So I decided I would implement everything that she come up with.
That's smart.
I thought so too. You got to give the people what they want.
Yeah, especially that person.
Yeah. Got to keep them happy.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a really fun episode. I've really enjoyed this, hey?
Absolutely. We're also tweeting live during the episode then too. Oh, yeah, so
I haven't seen any of that. Hey, my phone was behind me and I could hear it going off. Wow.
So I'll just say there was a tweet by Nadine. She says, "Ooh, we're interactive now."
Really? Wow.
There we go. That's just a carrot for you to check out.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'd love to see what people have said about me. It'll be interesting.
Richard Cranium also said about you having authority. He says, authority? Ah, fuck.
Well, he's listened long enough. He knows.
That was very, very good. Was there any other crazy oddball ideas you'd have in mind as well for the long-term future?
Oh, for the long-term future.
Where would you like to see rugby league, I guess, in, say, 2050?
2050, I want there to be 2 conferences, one in the Northern Hemisphere, one in the Southern Hemisphere, and we basically play one game against each team. And that's where I'd be going with that. So that would be my long-term aim. Obviously, tapping into my World Club Challenge idea, which you can hear in the International Rugby League episode. That's in the first episode that we ever did of Fergo and the Freak. And pretty much, I think that's where I'm at right now. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head, but I'm pretty happy with all of that.
Alrighty. And what on earth happens if the rugby league community says, actually, we're not going to sack this bloke. We like him. I just got to ask, what would be the starting price that you would accept to continue doing this job longer than one day?
There are not enough zeros in the world, but I would do this job for, let me think. Well, look, I think you've got to keep the players on side to a certain extent. So let's just say the highest paid player is, let's just ballpark it and say 1.5 million is what the highest earned player earns.
Crikey, so Gutherson and Moses will have to take a pay cut.
Yeah, because I want 10. I want nothing short of 10. I want the same money that a club gets right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think so too. Look at what I've brought in one day.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I want 10.
I think that's acceptable.
I also want a company car.
Company car.
Yeah.
You do realise that you would actually be excessively more handsomely paid than the Prime Minister. Should that be a job we'd hand to you as well?
Well, one thing at a time. I mean, maybe day 2 or 3, you know.
I just wanted to see what your career aspirations were, whether you thought NRL was enough or whether you needed to go in another direction and like run a country. A smaller direction, obviously.
Look, I feel like I'd need to run a smaller country because I'd need somewhere that I could
England. It's smaller geographically anyways.
The first thing I would do is I would finish building that wall that the Romans were building across Scotland.
I've got a bad feeling where this might be going. I led you down that garden path and then realised I didn't want anyone to open that garden gate.
Yeah, it's probably a bad idea. It's probably a bad idea. Oh, man.
All right. Well, that's been a phenomenal episode. Any shout-outs to stuff you want to do, mate? Or
I want to give a shout-out to the starting block.
As you do.
I love you a lot. What else? What else can we give a shout-out to? There's one of my followers I want to give a shout-out to. I don't even know if they follow the podcast. Where is he? I'll get there. The Magic Man.
The Magic Man. Oh, yeah. I know of him, yes.
Magic Man on Twitter. I wanted to give a shout out to him. Shout out to Ben Darwin once again. He did a tweet this morning where he said, "What do you call people that you don't remember the names of them?"
Mate.
Like instead of mate, yeah.
Instead of mate.
Yeah, well, he was like, "Have you got anything else instead of mate?" And I sent a tweet out saying that I don't have that problem because I remember everyone's name.
Yeah, I don't, so I just call everyone. I suppose if I see someone who I've never seen before, I have seen before, but I've forgotten their name, I usually just call them, "Hey, how you going?"
I sometimes call people Brother Vance, and anybody that plays Destiny 2 knows what I'm talking about.
I sort of half-assedly try and coax them into telling me their name while actually not trying to give away that I don't know.
Yeah. I you know what?
There's no easy way to do that, though.
To a point, I'm antisocial, so I don't really care what people's names are, to be honest. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Well, to be honest, we're now famous as well, so it's up to other people to remind us who they are.
Yeah. Well, at some point, and I think it was probably about podcast 4 or 5, everyone's just become a peripheral to my life because, like, you know, I mean, we're the important ones here. That's obvious.
That is. I don't know if we've stressed that enough already.
Yeah, I feel like if this podcast will eventually like morph into talking about how good we are just through the whole thing, and then doing a rugby league shout out at the end.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good of us, considering. I mean, you're practically omnipotent. Omnipotent.
I'm just leaving that there.
Because I could then bow down to you because you'd be like a deity.
All right.
With unlimited power.
Oh, cool. That'd be really cool.
With any luck, then you will then be controlling hell later on.
Yeah.
And I'll be down there with you, and I'll still be able to continue this podcast from the depths of hell.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. At least it'll be warm down there. And it'll be great, fantastic. You, me, Izzy, all sitting around talking about the good old days.
And it would just mean that people would then have this podcast for eternity.
Yeah. Imagine that. Maybe that is hell. You listen to this podcast for eternity. That and you watch rugby union.
Yeah, tough mix. Alrighty. We'll take my poor grasp of the English language and your magnificence as a CEO, and we'll both get to work, and we'll sign off for another magnificent episode of Fergo and the Freak.
That's been great. I love being the CEO. I'm just wondering, where is that kid with my latte? Anyway.
Sometimes they fall over if they don't get fed properly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're supposed to feed them, but sometimes that happens,
Yeah.
They should be old enough to know how to feed themselves by now.
That's true. But just
maybe.
Hang on, I just got to send a message to my secretary. She's out the door. Yeah, Sheila. Yeah, I'm ready for my 1 o'clock. Yeah.
Oh,
send them all in.
All in?
Yep. So they're about to come in. So I've got to run.
All right, mate. Well, we'll catch you all later.
Goodbye.